fact is that All Saints Episcopal Church has remained true to its identity and has changed nothing. Third, we want to be left alone to worship God and to do the work God has called us to do. That's what we've been doing for 63 years. Iker wrote to you all on January 12, 2009. As I am sure you are well aware, he says, a controversy exists between your rector and the vestry in the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth. There is no controversy between All Saints and the Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth. Okay? Why? There is no bishop. You got it. There is no bishop. The former bishop has no authority to call us to a meeting in which he is to adjudicate a putative controversy between us and anybody. What does putative mean? Alleged. Alleged. So-called. There is no controversy between All Saints Episcopal Church and the Bishop of Fort Worth because there is no Bishop of Fort Worth. Now, I've symbolized that. Is there something in the room that gives you the clue that we've symbolically stated that there is no Bishop of Fort Worth? Right? And I don't want to clap about it. I'm very sad. I really am. But I want you all to know that that slot, that space right there, where the bishop's portrait used to be, is symbolic of the fact that we have no bishop. All right? And now his portrait has been moved to a place of honor for former bishops and so on. But he is not the bishop anymore. It's of historic interest only. Just a minute. He continues to send us bills for money to support his organization. As if he were what? He wants us to send him money in 2009, send us a bill. He has scheduled himself to visit this place in 2009. As if he's what? He continues to mail material to our parishioners, which causes them great distress and confusion, like the January 12th letter. As if he is what? He's not. We want to be left alone, sir. Fact, Jack Iker has abandoned the Episcopal Church and has no authority over us. Fact, All Saints Episcopal Church has remained true to its identity and has changed nothing. Fact, we want to be left alone to worship God and do the work God has called us to do. Those are facts. Fourthly, we are a peaceful people, but we will protect our parish and our way of being Christian from hostile assaults. I'm an Episcopal priest. I'm the rector of an Episcopal parish made up of Episcopalians. I have a pastoral responsibility and share with the vestry a fiduciary responsibility to you and to our corporation, an Episcopal institution. We have asked the former bishop to stop harassing us, yet he persists. He even included the letters that we sent to him in his letter to you, in which we asked him to stop. He persists. In the 1990s, the former bishop filed a lawsuit against a church. The former Bishop Iker filed a lawsuit against a church. And we wrote to him on December 24th. We have no desire to file a lawsuit of any kind against anybody. However, if you and those working with you attempt to take any action for the purpose of interfering with All Saints, we will take whatever legal action is necessary. We are a peaceful people, but we will protect our parish and our way of being Christian from hostile assaults. Fact, Jack Iker has abandoned the Episcopal Church and has no authority over us. Fact, All Saints Episcopal Church has remained true to its identity and has changed nothing. fact, we want to be left alone to worship God and do the work God has called us to do. In fact, we are a peaceful people, but we will protect our parish and our way of being Christian from hostile assaults. So, what's the future of our diocese? And there is a diocese still, okay? It's just empty of leadership because they've left. We have no bishop. We have no standing committee. We have no executive council, save one member. We have no commission on ministry or any other of the committees or commissions you'd expect to have in a diocese. We have no delegates to General Convention. So, we are the Episcopal Church in this area. We are significantly smaller than we were before, but we are the Episcopal Church. A lot of our resources, leadership resources, people resources have left. And we will meet in special convention on February 7th to reconstitute ourselves, to reconstitute the leadership of the diocese, and to move forward as the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth, which is who we are. And I know it's very confusing to people when they get a letter on stationery that says it's from the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth when it isn't. And it's very confusing when the return address on the envelope says it's from the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth when it isn't. I have no control over what letterhead people use and who they claim to be. The fact is that the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth has no bishop. And the return address, 2900 Alameda Street, is not where the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth leadership is officing. It's where the leadership of another church is officing. The convention, the special convention, was called by the presiding bishop. And at that convention, we will elect lots of things, a provisional bishop. So we'll have a portrait in that slot in a couple of weeks, whenever we can get one. A standing committee will elect, an executive council. These are all offices and groups that run the diocese. Will elect officers to the Episcopal Diocese of Fort Worth in all sorts of areas, whatever areas are needed for a diocese to continue. We're hard at work putting that together. We're also going to ratify the Constitution and canons by which we are governed at that special convention. So, two very important things coming up, the annual parish meeting and the special convention on February 7th. These two things are quite critical to our continuing life as Episcopalians in North Texas. Now, anybody have any questions? Turn off this thing because it's hot.